What does it mean to be a crayon activist?
Activist, in my definition, is someone who's active in making change. And how I make a change is I use crayons. But More Than Peach is also more than about just skin color and crayons and stuff like that. It's also just about inclusion and including everyone and making sure everyone can feel like they're welcome and that they can be who they actually are.
Hello, and welcome back to the series Convos with CEOs, where we take a peek behind the shelved veil to see what it takes to get a product in Target stores. I'm Hallease, endeavoring to persevere, as always. We've gotten to talk to some amazing women in this series, each with their own unique story. So if you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can check them out here. For this last episode of the series, I know, last episode. But for the last episode of the series, we're talking to Bellen Woodard, the 10-year-old, I'm gonna say that again, the 10-year-old founder of More Than Peach and the world's first crayon activist. I figured it'd be really great to wrap this series with Bellen because oftentimes when I hear people talk about starting a business, they'll give reasons for pause that are based in fear. Reasons like, I didn't go to business school, or I don't feel like I know enough, and things like that. And Bellen is proof that none of that matters. None of it matters at all. At its core, what you need is a great idea and the drive to want to make things better. So we're gonna talk to Bellen and have a great conversation. And yes, we fit in a color, me, a whole adult. I'm gonna be coloring because self-care is in full effect, 2K forever. Okay, and yeah, let's get into this conversation. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got this idea for this company, More Than Peach?
So when I was in third grade, I heard my classmates call the peach crayon the skin color crayon. And yeah, peach is a skin color crayon, but it's not the only one. And so one day I've been hearing it for a long time, but I kind of like noticed it, like actually thought about it. And so that day when I went home, I was telling my mom about the situation, and she suggested for next time for me to hand over the brown crayon. But I didn't want to do that because if I didn't like being handed over the peach crayon, no one would like being handed over the brown crayon because it doesn't match them and stuff like that. And so instead, I told her next time I'm actually going to ask what color they want because it could be a number of any different beautiful colors. And that's exactly what I did next time I went to school. And eventually, my teacher started hearing me and noticing me saying that. And she started saying it, and then my whole class, and then eventually my whole school. And I thought, wow, if I can change the language in my classroom, then I can change the language in classrooms across the world. And that's when I started my More Than Peach project. So in spring 2019, I started donating, but I decided I wanted to make my own crayons or my own art supplies because for one, I thought it would be a good way to represent myself. And I also wanted to name all the multicultural art supplies all skin color because I knew that that would spread the message that they're all skin colors and not just one. And I also thought it was also a great way to inspire kids my age or younger or older, whoever, to also make a difference in their schools and communities.
What were some of the teachers saying to you about these packets that you were bringing them with the crayons?
They love them, and I also get a lot of letters from teachers and students and parents, and they're just saying some of the kids are saying, "Oh, Bellen, you're my hero," or the teachers are saying, "Oh, I taught my class," or "I showed my class your crayons," or "I bought them all my crayons," or "I bought my kids your crayons," or stuff like that. And I love getting those responses because it kind of um just reminds me to keep on going because although, like I was saying earlier, it does sometimes it is kind of time consuming, but it's just a reminder that it's all worth it in the end.
Can you talk a little bit about just what it's been like for you to really innovate in the space. I think crayons haven't really changed. Probably in the last 30, 40 years at least. And so, if not more. And so, how does it feel to be sort of, on the cutting edge of just making people just acknowledge more within the space?
And I see all these companies following out after just a 10-year-old little girl. And what it means to me is I used to be kind of angry, but now I'm just like these big brands are kind of like intimidated by this little kid who just hit the double digits. And it's kind of funny to me and amazing that I'm changing the minds that of bigger brands with people that are older than me.
Can you tell me a little bit about the process? Did you get to figure out what those tones would be? Did you get to help out with that a little bit?
So I don't work at a manufacturer, obviously, but what I do know is that the crayons are made out of paraffin wax, and we have to add the pigments and the colors to it, and then they send a sample for us to test, so we can maybe send back our feedback, maybe make this pink a bit darker, lighter, something like that. I've changed a formula a few times, or once maybe. I had to do research for all the skin colors, and so it definitely wasn't easy. And I also had to it also isn't free to do all these like to make these crayons and art supplies. And so you also need to make sure you can keep having the money to, make these things. But in the end, it's all worth it.
What was the first product that you officially launched? Was it crayons or can you talk about like the order of operations of which products you had out first?
So the first project that I made was my palette packet. And in my palette packet, I created my own crayons. And then just recently, I created, back in like the summertime, I created I actually created two things, my colored pencils and my coloring book. And soon we signed a book deal with Scholastic, and my book will be coming out next year in spring.
What are you hoping that'll happen with your project? I know this last year has been crazy for everyone in regards to quarantining, and is school happening? Is it not? All of that kind of craziness. And yet you have started this project during a lot of all of that. What are your hopes for this project once we figure out what life is officially moving forward?
Well, I consider it a business now because I've grown so much. And speaking of growing, I just want to continue to grow my products, and I want to be an all inclusive art supply brand. So, and I just want my stuff to be here forever. So, just so no one feels disincluded, which is, I know isn't a word, but it's just something I say.
Do you remember when you found out that your product was going to be in Target stores? Do you remember how that happened or where you were?
I think it was around Christmas time last year, and that was my birthday is in December, so it was really like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be in Target, and I'm super excited. Right now, we're only online, but we're hoping that by next year, when it's back to school time again, that hopefully it will be in stores, so and parents can pick it up and be ready for back to school. But I was super duper excited because I was like, this is the store that everyone goes to and everyone knows about, and I'm about to be in it.
Where would you like More Than Peach to be in 5 years when you're 15? Oh my goodness.
That seems so long. It seems so far away, but it also feels so short.
Yeah, I was gonna say
anyway,
be here before you know it.
Mhm. So I want my project to be in all the stores across the board, and I also want it to be in all the schools and to be on a school supply list, like to be normalized.
I think it's really interesting to talk to you because you're so much younger than everybody. And I know that a lot of people that watch think that they can't start a business, even when they're in their 20s and 30s and 40s, you know? So what would you say to that person right now if you could talk to them about starting their own thing?
Well, it's definitely it's not gonna be easy. You're not just gonna like all of a sudden wake up with $1 billion because your product just instantly sold out. But it does take a lot of planning and work and thought into it. But definitely what I like to say is there's no coloring rule book, which basically means just there's no limits and do stuff your way and and just take your time and don't rush it. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful way to wrap up this series with Target. If you haven't already, go check out More Than Peach, now available at target.com. I hope that this series has given you a few different perspectives on starting your own business or venture, a few tangible takeaways, and of course, as always, good vibes all around. Once again, a big thank you to Target for giving me this opportunity to talk to all of these amazing founders. It has been such a joy and a privilege to have these conversations and bring them to you. And now it's coming to an end. Or is it? Again, I'm Hallease, endeavoring to persevere. As always, if you've made it this far in the video, consider subscribing, and I will see you when I see you.